Hi, you are watching the Technology Magazine show, brought to you by Technology Magazine, AI Magazine, and all of us here at BizClik Media Group. My name is Scott Birch, and we'll be bringing you all the latest news, analysis, and opinions from the wide world of technology every 2 weeks right here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and other digital platforms. Joining me today are our two new faces to the show, and that is Technology Magazine Editor-in-Chief Alex Tuck and AI Magazine editor Catherine Gray. How are you both doing today?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, all good, thanks, Scott.
From sunny Norfolk, in fact, is where I'm reporting from.
And Catherine, where are you live from today?
Not so sunny London today, so.
Oh well. Never mind, you can't have everything. Now, we're lucky to have Catherine here today because her Wi-Fi has been playing up. That is a technical phrase, by the way, playing up. So if we do lose her at any stage, we do have a backup because this is the technology show after all. So you have to be prepared for all eventualities. And just to remind you, thanks for tuning in to begin with. And you can come and say hello, and you can get involved in the show by posting any questions or comments, or just come and say hello by posting in the comments section underneath the show window now. So if you go there, you can also vote in our LinkedIn poll. And this poll has been up for about a week or so now. But Alex, what's the topic? What's the question that we're asking our viewers today?
The question is, what are the biggest pain points of implementing artificial intelligence into your organization? And right. the options were the four options. It's changing culture and mindset, demonstrating business value, lack of expertise, or choosing the right partners. So we just want to get a little bit of a feel for how people are adopting AI into their business.
Okay, great. And I see in the comments that our marketing guru, Saj, has posted the link in there as well. So you can go there, have a look at the poll and have your say. And we'll be sharing the results of that towards the end of the show. But we've got loads to come before then, loads to come. I've just slowed down a bit while those options are going across the screen. And now we're going to be coming back to that later, as I said. Well, let's kick this show off by taking a look at the latest technology news. Okay, so Alex, why don't you kick us off with your top story today?
Yeah, this is about Elon Musk and SpaceX. The little bit of fun to be had sometimes at BizClik when it comes to interstellar travel and that kind of thing. And yeah, and a really interesting story, this, just because of the fact that this rocket he's building is when it's with its two parts, which are the Starship rocket on the top and the super heavy booster, will be the largest rocket ship ever built, larger than the Saturn V rocket, famously, that used to be the largest. Yeah, this story is interesting because of the fact that I didn't realize how close Musk was to almost going out of business entirely due to his SpaceX commitment. So it's a good read. Hopefully there'll be a few little nuggets of insight that you don't know about Musk and about SpaceX, and also about his partnership with NASA and also with Space Force, who Technology Magazine have also ran a profile on. That they've been our cover stars as well in recent times. So yeah, check that out.
Okay, nice segue into previous stories there, Alex. I always like that. Joining up the content ecosystem that is Technology Magazine. Okay, and what's I going to say? Oh yeah, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot here, Alex, but you said it was like the biggest Starship. Do you have can you put that into context for us? Like, do we know how big it is or how much bigger it is than the previous biggest?
Yeah, 120 meters tall, apparently. So yes, it's I've actually visited Cape Canaveral and the vehicle assembly building there, and I remember one of the stats they were talking about. There's an American flag on the side of the building, and there's 50 stars, of course, on the flag. And they said that from point to point on the stars, that was as long as a bus. So it gives you an idea of the size of the building they need to build these things in. So yeah, it's fascinating, and yeah, absolutely love writing stories about space, to be honest with you. So
What's not to love about space? Okay, that's really cool. And yeah, the fact that the star is the size of a bus, that really does help to put it into perspective. All right, we're going to move on now to Catherine, and she's picked out a story from the AI magazine website. So what have you got for us here?
So recently, ID R&D released research into identity detection, and basically they found that AI was better at preventing spoofing attacks, which I think it's crazy to think that a computer is better at identifying humans than humans are. The difference was quite big. So humans, it's about 4.8 seconds per image to determine whether it's a person or not, and AI is 0.5 seconds. The company itself is really, really interesting. They have their own tech into biometric detection and things like that. And we have an interview coming out in a couple of days on the AI website with the CEO. So that should be really interesting to kind of build on the research that they've recently done into biometric detection.
Okay, that's really interesting because, I mean, maybe this is my age. I don't have a problem recognizing faces or detecting faces, but I'm terrible at remembering people's names. So what I'm thinking, right, if this technology joined up with, like, you know, Google glasses or, you know, other wearables are available, and if it could recognize somebody's face and then show me what their name is if I've forgotten their name, that'd be brilliant. That's the kind of technology that, I mean, that's a real leap forward for mankind. You know, forget space travel. If some glasses can tell me what somebody's name is that I've forgotten, that's what I call progress. Now, Alex, you're going to talk a little bit about a trip you had, actually, and again, to the US, actually. You were over in Seattle recently. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate for BizClik to be back on the road again and to go and interview T-Mobile's Chief of Procurement, Mike Simpson, alongside Lucy Basholes for our March 8 magazine as well. She interviewed Stephanie Owen, and she'll be our cover star on our March 8 magazine. But yeah, in regards to the technology angle and T-Mobile, they've been doing incredible things recently, and they've just posted record earnings in Q4 of 2021. And honestly, I can't reveal all right now, but let's just say that the things that they're involved in particular with their 5G standalone network, which is the only one running at the moment in the United States, it's absolutely incredible. They've almost got a little tech playground that they showed us around, and some of the things they're working on in regards to autonomous driving, smart cities, helping local farmers with drones and all kinds of things. Absolutely astonishing. So can't wait to do more stories with T-Mobile. And yeah, we've got a profile coming up with, as I say, with Mike Simpson, which will be coming up very, very shortly in the Technology magazine. So
okay, right. I know the sort of innovation center you're talking about. I think I've seen some images from there. Were you able to actually have a look around? Were you there? Or
yeah. I'll be honest with you, Scott. I was expecting to be shown around almost like a data center like facility full of wires and geeky people, and it actually was more like a sort of Disney World type setup in terms of a planetarium type thing that shows you the world of 5G around you, and yeah, it was just that they created avatars for us and which followed us around, which was quite creepy. I was a bear and Lucy was a puffin, I believe, based on local animals from around the Pacific Northwest where T-Mobile are based. So yeah, incredible stuff and a lot of fun. So yeah.
Okay, sounds awesome. And as Alex said, there's going to be more on T-Mobile in upcoming issues of Technology magazine as well. And remember, you can catch all of our latest news, analysis, and read all of these features by visiting our websites, which are technologymagazine.com and aimagazine.com. And you can also view the latest issues, latest issues of the magazine on there as well. And also our websites have had a bit of a makeover. So if you haven't visited them in the last week or so, go and have a look, because it's a completely new look, new fresh design, as we're focusing more on our content delivery. Look at that. glorious, glorious website. Now, still to come after the break, we'll be taking a closer look at some of the fantastic features from the new February issues and looking ahead to Sustainability Live, which is taking place in London next week. So don't go away. We'll be back right after the break.
When we first were a customer of a smaller data center in the area, I always had a dream of thinking like, man, if we ever had our own data center, we would do it so much better. And that was about 10, 15 years ago.
We found that it was very frustrating working out of corporate data centers, very inflexible, very difficult to grow. We decided that it would be in our best interest to build our own data center. And that way we could best serve our interests and our customer interests. My name is Sally Simkus, and I'm CEO of OpenColo.
I'm Scott Brookshire, the co-founder and CTO here at OpenColo.
My name is Jonathan Bitran, and I am the COO and co-founder of OpenColo.
I'm James Chen. I'm the VP of Sales Engineering at OpenColo.
We started originally as EGI hosting in 2003. We started with Counter-Strike gaming servers. We built the servers on a living room floor and drove them down to Equinix in Ashburn, Virginia. We then started adding audio and video services.
When we found this place, I was amazed that we actually could get it. Here we are today. It's transformed from where it was to an actual data center on top of the fiber in the best part of the country.
What's ideal about this location is it's powered by Silicon Valley Power, which is the most efficient and reliable and least expensive power in California.
They source their power from many different sources, hydro, wind, and solar. And so we can select how we want our blend.
We designed this data center to be very resilient. We're 2N power design, N+1 on cooling. We're 100 gig multi-providers into the facility. We build it to be running meticulously all the time, 24/7, 365. And we built it so we can maintain it.
We wanted to be able to provide all the security, bandwidth, power redundancy systems that a large corporate data center would provide, but with more hands-on.
And we want to provide it in a very safe, transparent way that gives our customers the ability to understand what we're doing and how we're doing it.
What makes us unique is that our technicians here are able to provide service from the simplest tasks that a customer would like, such as a server reboot or connecting a card to a server, to more advanced tasks if a customer needs us, for example, to configure their network switch, to troubleshoot some operating system issues. We can provide a wide range of services, and it doesn't require the customer to sign complicated contracts.
If they want to get someone on the phone, they can get someone on the phone. If they have a billing issue, it'll be handled immediately. It's not days of back and forth.
We really want to make sure that when you're a customer, you're not just another number on a spreadsheet. You are an individual. You are a company that's valued.
Customers come into the building, they get to know the technicians they will be working with. That's pretty much one of our main strengths here at OpenColo.
We kind of envisioned a newer data center where we wanted to really focus on customer service, transparency, honesty, integrity. As we're looking to the future, we're looking to expand. We're looking to grow within our current facility.
This is just our first data center in Santa Clara. We'd like a few more.
We have Pod 1 that is more traditional, but still has flexibility for various power densities. And then Pod 2 is still raw space, and that can be developed either by us ourselves for our own customers, or in collaboration with a larger company who wants raw space to design and run exactly to their specifications.
Internally, network-wise, we are building a lot more infrastructure. Things will be faster, you're going to get a lot more capacity, and then of course, there are a lot of hackers and DDoS attacks, and so internally we've been building our infrastructure to handle those attacks.
We aren't trying to be everything to everybody. We aren't trying to disrupt anything. We're not trying to change the world. We're simply trying to do what we do best and do it well.
Wow, that welcome back was quite loud, wasn't it? Yeah, that was an awesome video actually that we produced with OpenColo, and that's you can view that in our digital edition of Technology Magazine right now as well. But yeah, really cool video. So yeah, welcome back, and still to come, we've got the results of our LinkedIn poll, and we'll be looking at some highlights from the February issue of AI Magazine as well. But first, we're going to take a look at the new issue of Technology Magazine. And on the cover, I think as if by magic, we can see that on screen. On the cover, we have executives from UST. And if you're scratching your head a little bit and thinking, UST, that's possibly the biggest tech firm you may never have heard of. And that's sort of the way they describe themselves as well. Now, I got the chance to interview these guys and hear how they solve technology problems for some of the world's biggest organizations. So seriously, if you don't already know about UST, you've got to go and check out this feature and find out more about them and the brilliant work that they're doing right now. But Alex, what was your highlight from this issue?
My highlight was a feature that I titled, "Are you ready for the total experience?" Now, we've heard a lot of the we've heard a lot of CX, UX, EX, and to be honest, I didn't fully understand the differences between the three of them in full until I wrote this feature, and now I realize that they're being combined into one whole thing, which is total experience. So this is a trend that I kick off in the article by talking about the fact that Disney would create these magic bands where people would walk around the parks and they would interact with the rides for, I think it was for their 50th anniversary celebrations. So they'd find plaques and all different types of things to interact with. The watches would light up, vibrate, do different things. They would have there was a sort of biometric element to it. They could order food on it and all this kind of thing. And I guess it's a sort of a master sort of data collection point that where I guess people can enjoy the experience as much as possible, and do things more economically, and I guess also be sold to probably easier as well. So that's obviously something that started in the B2C realm, and is coming through into the B2B realm as well, in terms of trying to combine both the workers and obviously with the employee experience with how they serve customers and the customer service teams. And also the usability on the platforms that they use to do that as well, and trying to combine all that data together to really sort of improve the brand as a whole. So yeah, some really fascinating people from such people as Benedict Ireland, who works for an agency called Splendid, and he's been doing some amazing work with some of the top brands in the world to help them to do this and to help them to learn how to use the data a little bit more efficiently and economically. And create massive operational savings doing it as well. So
okay, and I think you said as well there's going to be another feature coming in March around AR and mixed reality as well that sort of connects with this. Is that right?
Yes, you're right, and thank you for reminding me. Actually, yes, there's going to be a feature coming up about sports fan engagement through AI. There's obviously a bit of an AI trend today, which I guess our viewers will notice. And spoke to a great guy called Eric Biontegard from a company called Spark Compass, which will also be profiling in April, and he contributed to that article. So doing some incredible things with on sort of mobile technology to really change the way that sports fans experience the entire event. So it's really incredible stuff.
Okay, cool. And like you say, there's an AI heavy theme to today's show, which brings me rather nicely onto AI Magazine. And Catherine, why don't you talk us through your top feature from this month?
Yeah, definitely. So it was really hard to pick. There was lots of different ones, looking at policy, looking at self-driving vehicles, but one that I really liked was one that we worked on with Lyft, and its head of strategic business development and supply chain, Zach Greenberger. He was really passionate, really shared his passions into the company's passion, into improving people's lives through transportation. And we did create a little video with Lyft, which we can have a look at now. It's really great at showing kind of what they're up to.
The development of IoT technologies is improving the way that the endpoints of the marketplace operate overall. My name is Zach Greenberger. I lead supply chain and business development at Lyft. Most people know Lyft as a rideshare company, but the truth of the matter is that we are focused on improving people's lives with the world's best transportation. We are really developing and innovating on products that expand to the end-to-end value chain of all of your transportation needs. One of Lyft's key differentiators is we are hyper-focused on creating the world's best transportation products. Embedded systems, IoT devices, they are creating a way for us to better assess location, positioning, utilization of the asset, ultimate ETAs for whatever your transportation leg or route might look like. Evolving tech like IoT and AI offerings will play a key role in upskilling supply chain professionals to be more strategic and less transactional than they've historically been. But my mentality on these is that as they develop, they only expand the art of the possible of what can be offered, both in supply chain and from a broader business innovation perspective as well.
So I really love those videos that go into the magazines. They look really good. They look really good. And that's essentially just showing us what the whole article was talking about. But something that is quite important to Lyft is their partnership with Oracle, and the ERP infrastructure that they've implemented from Oracle basically empowers their supply chain people and their finance teams to look at new ways of delivering business value. It's all very data driven, and like many companies, Lyft are really seeing the power of their data and kind of what it can bring for them. So it was really interesting to see how the two work together to help them deliver their mission.
Okay, and as Catherine said, there's loads of great features in both the magazines this month. And as well as reading the interviews and features, there's also loads of great video content as well, which I hope we are showcasing today. Now, let's move on, actually, because time is marching on. Alex, I think we can have a look at the results of the poll that we ran on LinkedIn. So why don't you remind us again what the question was, and why don't you give us the result as well?
Yep, sure. So the question was, what are the biggest pain points of implementing AI into your organization? And the 4 options were changing culture and mindset, demonstrating business value, lack of expertise, and choosing the right partners. And I have the results. They've come in just now. And well, so I'm just going to put it to you guys first, actually. Which one do you think was the standout answer?
I'm going to let Catherine take that one.
Thanks, Scott. I think I would have gone with A, changing culture and mindset.
Oh, you can tell that she's the AI editor, can't you? Because that's exactly what it is. It's 50%, in fact. Yeah, pretty much pretty convincing answer there. Catherine, is that, obviously that isn't a surprise to you, but why do you think it is that because the other options, they're a little bit more like the sort of the technicalities, the composite elements in terms of the tools that are out there and the experience and stuff. So it's obviously this stuff exists, but clearly the biggest problem lies with up here, I guess, in the mindset and the culture.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of it, well, from what I've learned from other people is it's more the employees themselves that are worried that by implementing this technology, that might replace them. And so instead of kind of getting these this like automation technology to benefit the business, they're worried that it'll like impact their livelihood in the long run. But realistically, it creates new spaces for jobs. Those people should be retrained, reskilled in other areas, and at the end it brings them more kind of enriching lives, because then they don't have to do these mundane repetitive tasks, but they're worried if something else does it, where do they fit in the company?
Yeah, look, I completely get that as well, and I've spoken to many people at our events and in interviews, and you can understand the resistance, certainly of some workers when it comes to the adoption of AI. But ultimately, the AI is there in theory to make people's lives easier, and like you say, it's just replacing the mundane tasks, the repetitive tasks that surely nobody actually enjoys. And the big idea, I suppose, is that AI enables those people to work on the more creative and higher thinking strategy and everything else that AI can enable. But I completely get that, and I see how that's the main challenge or barrier, if you like. Okay, interesting. Thanks for everybody who voted in that poll as well. There will be another one next fortnight as well, so keep an eye out for that on our LinkedIn channels. Now, moving on, sustainability is something that touches every industry and every organization right now. And technology is at the forefront of solving some of the world's biggest problems. Now, next week, we are hosting Sustainability Live, which is a 2-day hybrid event taking place in London. And you really can't afford to miss it, with some of the fantastic speakers that we've got lined up, who are going to be telling you how businesses are making, taking action, actually, to make meaningful change. But let's watch the trailer now.
Lack of diversity, social inequality, and climate change are all threatening our very existence. But there is hope. Businesses are shining a light on sustainability, making the world a better place by not just talking.
What's the social impact of climate change?
But taking action. Join us at Sustainability Live. Be the revolution.
Okay, now as it said there, you can join us live in London next week. That's those 2 days there, or you can join us as a hybrid event as well. So wherever you are in the world, you can go and register and sign up, and you can attend. You can watch all of the sessions and interact with all of our speakers and our attendees as well. Now, as I said, this sustainability overlaps into every single industry. So, Alex, why don't you pick out some of the highlights and the key speakers that you're looking forward to at the show?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Scott, and look forward to seeing you work your magic again on stage as well. My first ever day in the company was spent at the technology event, the sister event of sustainability. So, yeah, what a way to be introduced into the company. But I'm really looking forward to seeing a couple of people. Jenny Bofinger-Schuster, Senior Vice President for Siemens Sustainability and Operational Excellence. Siemens, massive company, involved, got their fingers in so many technological pies, and from smart cities to telecommunications. So I'm just fascinated to see what they're doing and how they're really sort of pushing the envelope in terms of their sustainability initiatives. And also Pippa Bailey, Head of Climate Change and Sustainability Practice for Ipsos Mori, global market research company. I mean, that's one to definitely bring your notepad for, in terms of to get some great stats and information, because they certainly know their stuff, Ipsos. So yeah, really looking forward to those two.
And Catherine, a couple of highlights from you.
Yeah, definitely. So Sherry Hinish, the Global Sustainability Service Leader at IBM, will be at the event. I mean, as like normal, IBM are acquiring quite a few companies, and they are doing quite a lot in sustainability at the moment. So one that was a couple of weeks ago is a company that uses data and analytics to provide businesses with insights for their environmental initiative. So hopefully, I'm hoping that she'll speak on that, because it'll be really interesting to learn a little bit more about that acquisition. And Nicole Berg, head of cross mobile engineering at SAP, will also be there. So it sounds like there's some really great women that are going to be at the event, which is always really good to see. And SAP work really close with Unilever, so they have some really, really good solutions into the environment and environmental protection and things like that. So I think it's going to be really interesting. I think there's a lot of good speakers, and it was quite difficult to choose because the list is just huge.
The list is huge. It's definitely more than 60. I think it's getting closer to 70 or 80 right now. But there's some really fascinating speakers and sessions. We've got roundtables, we've got keynotes, and of course we've got networking and other activities as well. Now, as Alex said, even the Tech and AI show last year, that's going to come back later in this year. It's going to be bigger, better, more stages, more brands involved. We will have details on that closer to the time, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Also, next month in March, we're again recognizing International Women's Day by publishing our top 100 women in tech list. We've come up with a slightly different formula for compiling this list for this year. So again, keep an eye out for that. We'll tell you more about that in the next show as well. Okay, moving slightly aside here. This is a regular feature that we're introducing to the show, and this is called Tech That Takes You Back. And as somebody who was a teenager in the 80s, that certainly took me back. Not all good, I have to say, but great work on the graphics there, video team. Now, the premise of this little section of the show is where we look at technology from years gone by, which perhaps might have been cutting edge, leading edge. We might have thought it would have changed our lives forever, but then it gets confined to the kitchen drawer, shoved in the loft, or even worse, into the kitchen shed, gathering dust and never seen again. So I've challenged Alex and Catherine to bring to the show a piece of tech that takes them back, and they have to sell their tech to me in about 20 seconds or so and tell me why it deserves to be a brilliant piece of tech. So who should we have first? Alex, show us your tech that takes you back, and why is it brilliant?
As a piece of technology, I'd struggle to say that it is brilliant, although probably one of the most useful things ever created. It's a calculator, a solar-powered calculator, nonetheless. And the reason why this is significant in my family is my father, naturally, as you might imagine, me being the editor of a technology magazine, my father was a coalman, so delivered solid fuel to houses. And I just found that the fact that it's sponsored by a coal producing brand, it's a solar powered calculator, was just I just thought it was quite funny, to be honest. So there we go. There's a little calculator for you.
I see exactly what you've done there, Alex. I think in about 10 years' time that could be worth a lot of money. Not only a solar powered calculator that doesn't exist on a smartphone, but also promoting a solid fuel company as well.
Exactly. There's definitely some humour to be had.
Definitely, I would hang on to that. Okay, well, it's a strong start. I have to say, because it had a good backstory to it as well, and also future potential. That's what I particularly like. So, Catherine, you've got some way to go here to beat that. So, what have you got?
So, I have a good old brick phone. I can't turn it on, unfortunately. It's gathered too much dust, and no amount of charging it would bring it back to life. But I can confirm that Snake is on there. So I think that in itself is a winning argument. Okay.
I have to pass judgment here, and just so everyone knows as well, I did not see these objects before we started the show, so this has been a complete surprise to me. I have to say, I think Alex wins this round of Tech That Takes You Back. Not so much the calculator itself, but Catherine, I think I've seen far worse phones than that, to be fair.
Yeah, it does have a camera, so it's not.
It's got a camera. And it's got
keep digging. There must be a worse one somewhere in your parents' house.
It's got a screen for starters, Catherine. And some of the early mobiles that I had, and I'm sure many of our viewers today didn't even have screens. And of course, they were connected by a cable to a wall. So I'm afraid you lose this round. Alex takes that one. So it's 1-0 to Alex. We'll be revisiting this next time. So A+ to Alex, B- to Catherine. Must do better. And to make it easier, because I realize I threw this on you at the last minute. Next time, if you just want to bring on a picture of a piece of tech, rather than ferreting around in a drawer to find something, let's do that as well, because then you can really sell it to me and tell me why it's a brilliant piece of technology that changed lives. Okay, now I think that's all we've got time for. Yeah, it's 36 minutes in. We've really hope you've enjoyed the show, and tune in again in 2 weeks' time when we'll be back. And we should be able to give you a bit more information about those upcoming technology, AI, and maybe even cyber events or cloud events that we've got coming up as well. Now, thank you for interacting with us today, taking part in the poll. And remember, this show is available to watch on demand as well. So please do share it with colleagues and anyone interested in technology or indeed in AI. Big thank you to Alex and for Catherine for joining us today. To Kieran for some sterling work on the video side there today, and the rest of the production team. To Saj, Daisy and Catherine on the marketing side. And of course, most of all to you for joining us today for the show. This has been a BizClik Media Group production. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.